Hello everyone, welcome to Comic Review. My name is Eric, and today we're going to be going over some little muddy situations in this week's issue of Detective Comics. Yep, that's right. Today we're going to be reviewing Detective Comics number 935. This week we get a little bit more into the Bat family, all the kid vigilantes and Clayface that have joined Batman's Crusade and the Batman Boot Camp. We open up the issue this week on a weird mission that they seem to be on. Red Robin, Spoiler, the Orphan, and a fourth person that at first I didn't really realize who it was. It's like, I know Clayface is on the team, but there's like this human dude that's hanging out with him, and I'm like, who the heck is this guy? I can't figure out who this is. For the life of me, I'm like, okay, did we get another superhero, another kid vigilante in this team? Did Harper Rose's younger brother join the team? Oh, I can't remember if he's still alive or not. This is what I get for skipping Batman and Robin Eternal. But I couldn't figure out who he was. You do find out that Batman's team sidekicks are in a fight with seemingly an army of Jokers. For some reason, there's just hundreds of Jokers attacking them. You don't know why. You don't know what's going on. It's like, what, fresh hell is happening here? You basically find out this is a danger room. Somehow in this base, which I'm assuming is Red Robin's, or was Red Robin's possibly, the Belfry, he built what they call a mud room, which is basically using residual Clayface DNA or something and repurposing it to create a danger room style training arena that Red Robin and Spoiler and Orphan, whoever else, can hone their skills. You also find out that that fourth member that was inside the chamber with them was Clayface. He somehow now has dampener gauntlets that they can put on him to restrict him from being able to use his powers. The only thing I had a problem with in this is that there is an issue of Batman, the New 52. It's a solo Clayface storyline where they're trying to capture him or whatever, and like some containment unit that they had him in broke apart. That story, I feel like, gets negated by the fact that we apparently have gauntlets that are able to contain Clayface. I just found it funny that it's like, oh, now Clayface is going to go, let's give him some gauntlets that allow him to negate and or control his powers better. It just seemed, I mean, I guess you can say it's something Batman had been working on, but it just seemed very convenient for the story that this was there when it's something that, you would think Batman would have created forever ago. Batwoman was running the training exercise, trying to figure out the breaking point of all the team sidekicks, trying to find out their weaknesses and trying to strengthen them in those areas, so that way they're not affected in those areas during any kind of fight. We recap the fact that there is someone in Gotham hunting down the vigilante. We have a mention of the fact that Azrael is in a coma right now, in critical condition from his encounter with these unknown assailants at this point. So she's looking at this as, I'm going to push you to your breaking point to try to get you ready for the coming war. Red Robin feels like they are ready to go out in the world. He goes on about how the Belfry was something that was created as more of like a frontline fortress, essentially, not to cage them in. That way they can get into trouble at a moment's notice. During this scene, we get more into the heart of the man that is Clayface. He does complain a little bit about the gauntlets negating his powers. He also asks Robin, or Red Robin, if he can borrow the gauntlets to go out on some additions because he hasn't been in his human form in quite a while. For some reason, I feel like James Tynion is making us feel sympathetic toward Clayface, because I feel like there may be a turn toward this. We have him wanting to be normal again, playing on our heartstrings about the fact that he is a man trapped in a monster's body, essentially, between the last issue, with him going to look at some of his old movies, and this issue, him wanting to go on auditions, looking normal again. So I feel like the mysterious antagonist, and this is spoilers from the last issue, if you haven't watched that video or read the issue, but the one that's leading the army of Batman that we saw at the end of the last issue, I feel like he's going to offer Clayface something to turn him back normal in exchange for betraying the Bat family. That's kind of, that is just my random theory, and I came up with it right before filming, when I was getting ready to come in here and film. So that just popped in my head all of a sudden, like, that we're going to use Clayface's desire to be human again, to regain his humanity, as a way to betray the Bat family. That is the obvious thing that would happen in this storyline or in a future storyline with these characters, because of the fact that you have someone who is traditionally a villainous character seemingly on the side of angels. Same thing with Luthor over in Action Comics. As the audience, you're kind of waiting for what's the moment going to be that turns this person back over to his villainous roots. What's going to be the thing that betrays the heroes that this person is going to do? That's kind of the thing you're looking for. I'm kind of hoping, because we are getting a sympathetic feel towards Clayface, that that's not going to be what happens. But I would not put it past DC at this point to, with reestablishing status quo and everything with the Rebirth initiative, that we're kind of just setting up Clayface to return back to his villainous side with this storyline. We then get a scene with Batman and Red Robin going to visit John Paul Valley back at his hideout. He is being watched by Leslie Tompkins, who I don't think has really been much in the Batverse since the New 52 started. I don't know if she was in Batman and Robin Eternal or not. She really hasn't been in many storylines during the New 52, if at all. So it was really nice to see her again. We also get during this scene some moments between Batman and Red Robin, Tim Drake. For me, I stopped reading comics. I've read comics for the most part since I was a kid. I had to stop reading comics because the local comic shop that we had here had closed down. So I actually stopped right after, or right during, technically, Final Crisis and the Batman RIP storyline. That's kind of where I left off. So for me, Tim Drake was always a Robin. I didn't really see much of him as Red Robin or get into any of those issues ever. It's something I've always wanted to go back to and trade. So it was good for me to see Tim Drake in his Robin suit interacting with Batman one-on-one, because I don't think it's really anything we've seen in the New 52. I mean, I read most of Batman Detective Comics throughout the New 52. I didn't really see much interaction, even during the crossovers between Batman and Red Robin, and I don't think much of that happened during the Teen Titans, either Teen Titans series. So it was really nice to see those characters interacting seemingly for the first time in 5-6 years. Batman goes on to say that he always viewed Tim as a Robin, even though he went by Red Robin. I'm not sure if Tim ever had a traditional Robin costume in the New 52. I don't know if he was always in the Red Robin outfit, but he is now in the Robin costume, and this is kind of Batman's way of saying, okay, you need to come back into the fold. You've always been a member of the family. You don't have to pull away from us. You don't have to be your own thing. You can be part of the family. So I think that was a pretty good moment between the two of them, especially when you think about the fact that before the New 52 started, I believe, I'm almost positive, Tim was adopted by Bruce after his parents were killed, or his dad was killed in a identity crisis. And again, and this honestly is just what I thought about just sitting here filming this, is that's another thing I didn't even think about that we lost with New 52, and that hopefully we're going to get back with Rebirth, and hopefully that's what this is doing, is that, there was technically a family connection between these two characters that just disappeared. So it's nice that we're kind of getting back to that. In the very next scene, we see Tim with Stephanie Brown, spoiler, who I guess the two of them started dating, I'm assuming, during Batman and Robin Eternal. Tim does establish that he possibly received a genius grant from Ivy University, I believe in Ivytown, which is where the Atom is, that he may be giving up an incredible opportunity, not going away and staying here with Batman. So he's kind of torn between that. So I see one of two things happening with this part of the storyline. Either he's going to end up staying, which is kind of what we're hoping, to be with Batman. Hopefully something will come out just as good as the Ivy University offer that he can do in Gotham City. But then the other thing I'm wondering is if this is a way of testing whether or not we can splinter off Tim into his own solo book. He did carry his own solo series before the New 52, and he really never had one with the New 52. He was the main lead in Teen Titans, and you can argue that that was his book, but he hasn't had his own book in 5+ years. So I'm wondering if they're trying to test the waters with that mention to see if we can get fan support behind it. Do you want to see Tim in his own book with him going to Ivytown, being his own hero? But most likely they're probably going to establish he's going to stay in Gotham. That would be the safe bet, but they could be looking at a spinoff. We never know. We do get another moment in here with Batwoman and her father. Him basically saying that she should not have taken Batman's offer to be in charge of his boot camp. Basically condemning Bruce being a one-man army and that he needs to have an army to win a war. He can't just do it on his own. Which, again, going back through, because I kind of, full disclosure, I usually either write notes or have the comic in front of me when I'm doing these reviews just to make sure I'm not missing something. And I just now had a thought about this, why they're paying so much attention to Batwoman and her father in this story. Possible spoilers if this is what ends up happening, but I'm kind of wondering if Batwoman's father is the one leading this Bat Army. I mean, we know he knows who Batman is, that it's his nephew, essentially, I guess. And it is an army of Batmen that is being risen up, as we saw in the end of the last issue. So I'm wondering if he is the one who's essentially recruited this army of Batman. He talks about needing an army to win a war, and Bruce can't do it on his own. So that's kind of my other theory in this issue. We get one last scene with Batman talking to Alfred in the new Batmobile, which premiered in last week's Batman #1. And I'm telling you what, man, this car has seen nothing but trouble since essentially day one. During Batman's conversation with Alfred, he realizes that he is not alone on the road, despite the fact that all his radar equipment and everything says he is. He is being followed by numerous other vehicles. Batmobile ends up crashing at some point, I believe, or getting hit with some heavy-duty ammunition. And Batman is finally confronted with some of the members of this army of Batmen that we saw at the end of the last issue. They're basically there not to kill Batman. They said that they're there to take him in, essentially take me to your leader kind of a thing. With Batman's last words of "you can try," that's where we end the issue. So issue 936, we're most likely going to be seeing a big drag-out fight between Batman and this army of Batmen. And we will probably, sometime during that issue, have the rest of the Bat family come and help Batman out with this fight. Ready or not, here they come. So most likely that's what we're going to see in the next issue. So be on the lookout for that in 2 weeks. So let me know what you guys thought of this issue. Do you think Clayface is going to return to his villainous roots? Do you think Batwoman's father, who name completely escapes me, that's why I'm not calling him by his name, but do you think that he is the mysterious leader of the Batmen? Do you think Red Robin is going to, A, go by the name of Robin at some point? Do you think he's going to leave for Ivy University or stay in Gotham City? Do you want to see a Red Robin spin-off series from DC Comics? Let me know what you think of these things, as well as any other comments you guys have in the comments below. Just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Go ahead, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. We're going to be coming out with new reviews on both DC and Marvel Comics weekly, so be on the lookout for those. Check Twitter and Facebook, because I will be posting whenever a new video is up there. And I'd just like to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in the next review. Later.